Hey guys, welcome back to the DAHKTUBE, and today we'll be doing factoring of quadratics. So here we'll be doing two approaches. So we'll be doing the sum product method, which I like to call the AC method, and the formula method. So before we get into the video guys, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And don't forget to comment topics that you would like to see me do. So let's get started. Okay, so this is a standard formula for quadratic equations, where ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now a, b, and c can be any value except that a cannot be 0, because once a is 0, you'll have 0x squared plus bx plus c. And 0 times anything gives you 0, so this will no longer be a quadratic. So let's say we have this question here. So step 1 is you multiply the coefficients of a and c. So we're going to label these. So anything that is beside the x squared is considered a. So that means a here is equal to 1. B is anything that is beside the x term. That means b is equal to 3. And c is whatever is by itself. So c is equal to minus 4. So it says multiply the coefficients. So the coefficients are the numbers that are attached to these. So AC, so A times C, so that is 1 times minus 4. So that's step 1. Now step 2 says, think of two numbers that you can multiply to get what A times C is, that adds up to give you B. So we had A times C is equal to 1 times minus 4, and we got minus 4. So what you do, you think of the factors, two numbers you can multiply to get minus 4. So you could think of 1 times minus 4, you could think of minus 1 times 4, and you can think of 2 times minus 2. So these are all the combination of numbers you can multiply to give you minus 4. So that's this part. Then it says, when you add these numbers together, you're supposed to get what b is. Now from the question we had x squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0. So b was equal to 3. So if you add 1 plus minus 4, you get minus 4. If you add minus 1 plus 4, you get 3, and if you add 2 plus minus 2, you get 0. So based on this, you realize that the second option would give you 3, which is what b is. So we're using minus 1 times 4. So step 3 says, substitute these new values for what b was. So remember, you were given x squared plus 3x minus 4, and we are using minus 1 times 4, which is minus 1 plus 4. So we did the product, and we're ensuring that the sum gives us 3. So this is what we're using. So what it means by substituting, so you're removing this, and what you're going to have now is x squared minus the 1, so minus 1x plus 4x minus 4. Remember, you have equals 0. So if you were to add these together, you get back the plus 3 that you started with. So step 4 says, group the first two terms and factorize. Group the second pair of terms and factorize. So we had x squared minus x plus 4x minus 4 equals 0. So what that means, the first two terms, you look what is common between both of them, and x is common. Then you write what would be left. So x from x squared, you have x left. X from x, you get minus 1. Then you group the second pair terms. You realize that 4 is common. So you take out the 4, Take 4 from 4 of x, you have x left. 4 into 4, you have 1 left. 0. So now you realize that both brackets are the same. So what you do now, the numbers that are on the outside here, you put them in a bracket together, x plus 4, and then the bracket that has the same terms, you put it here as one bracket. So if you realize that both brackets are the same, you're on the right path. However, if your brackets are different, you did something wrong and you need to backtrack. So we had x plus 4, x minus 1 equals 0. So what this means, you can break them apart. So you have x plus 4 equals 0, or x minus 1 equals 0. You want x by itself, so you carry over the 4. So you have x equal minus 4, or x equal 1, and you're finished. So we have this question here. So we know that a is equal to 2 because it is beside x squared. B is equal to 7 and C is equal to 3. Now we say a times c, and you get 2 times 3, which is 6. Then we think of what factors we can multiply to get 6. So you have 2 times 3 minus 2 times minus 3, 6 times 1, and minus 1 times minus 6. Because remember, negative times a negative gives you a positive. Now 2 times 3 gives you 6. All of these give you 6. So when you add these, we're going to add 5 here. Minus 2 plus minus 3. That's minus 5. 6 plus 1, that's 7. Minus 6 plus minus 1, that's minus 7. And remember, we want to get a positive 7 for what b is. So that means we're using this option here, 6 plus 1. So we're substituting 6 plus 1 for 7x. So we have 2x squared plus 6x plus x plus 3 equals 0. Then we group the first two and we take out what is common. So if you look at this, you realize that 2x is common. 2x. And then you divide 2x squared by 2x, you're going to get x. 2x into 6x, you get 3. Plus, if you look at these, you realize that 1 is common. So that means you have x plus 3 left. You know you're on the right path when both brackets are the same. Then you have the numbers on the outside in one bracket by themselves times the common bracket. Then we say 2x plus 1 equals 0, or x plus 3 equals 0. You want to make x the subject, so you carry over the 1 becomes negative 1. So that means you have x equal negative a half, or x equal minus 3. And that's how you do the sum product or the AC method for solving quadratics. We'll be doing factorization using the formula method. Now again, we must recall that a quadratic looks like this. So when we're factorizing using the formula, it's x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So let's say we have this example. Now sometimes when we're factorizing quadratics, it is difficult for us to find factors to use the sum product or the AC method. So we have to use the formula. So now we know that a is the coefficient of the x squared term, which is 6, b is minus 17, and c is 12. All you do, you write your formula and you just substitute the values. You have what a, b, and c are. So b, so you have minus, so the minus sign is already in the formula. And you have b is minus 17. Then you have plus or minus the square root of minus 17 all squared minus 4 times A, which is 6, times C, which is 12, all over 2 times A, which is 6. So for the minus 17 here, that becomes a positive 17. So x is equal to, so that's positive 17 plus or minus the square root of minus 17 all squared is 289. Because whether you find the square of a positive or a negative number, it is always positive in the end. Minus 4 times 6 times 12, that gives you 288, over 2 times 6, which is 12. So then you have 17 plus or minus the square root of 289 minus 288, that gives you 1 over 12. And the square root of 1 is 1. Now we have to break apart the plus and the minus. So we have 17 plus 1 over 12, or 17 minus 1 over 12. 17 plus 1, that's 18 over 12. And you can break it down until you get 1.5. Or 17 minus 1, that's 16 over 12. Break it down until you get 1 1/3. Let's try one more. Let's say we have x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. A here is equal to 1. B is 4. C is 3. So we just substitute it into the formula. So x equal so B is 4, so minus 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 3 all over 2 times 1. So you have minus 4 plus or minus square root of 16 minus 4 is 12 all over 2. So 16 minus 12, that's 4. So you have minus 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 all over 2. So you have minus 4 plus or minus square root of 4 is 2. So that's that here. And again, we have to break up the plus or minus. So we have minus 4 plus 2 over 2, or minus 4 minus 2 over 2. So minus 4 plus 2, that gives you minus 2. So you have minus 2 divided by 2, that gives you minus 1. Or minus 4 minus 2, that gives you minus 6. Minus 6 divided by 2 gives you minus 3. And you're finished here. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and so see you guys next time on the DAHKTUBE.